Nonprofit consulting firms recommend LGBT organizations appeal to donors nationally. Over the past few years, nonprofit consulting firms have noticed many lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, LGBT organizations have had somewhat of a regional focus. By not expanding their constituency, these nonprofit organizations have limited their fundraising results. For example, a few years ago, the Trevor Project, a West Hollywood-based nonprofit devoted to suicide prevention among LGBT youth, was focused primarily on reaching its West Coast constituency. When it began to expand inland and opened up a New York City office, the nonprofit saw awareness of its cause surge. By appealing to donors on a national level, the Trevor Project's fundraising significantly outperformed previous efforts. The scope of the increase was impressive. In 2009, donor contributions at the Trevor Project reached $737,032. After expanding nationally, contributions jumped up to $909,163 in 2010, only 1 year later. In addition, grant funding increased from $214,500 in 2009 to $282,500 in 2010. During the expansion when other LGBT organizations were downsizing, the Trevor Project experienced no layoffs and actually added new staff positions. The role of nonprofit consulting firms. Nonprofit consulting firms help identify opportunities to grow the donors' bases of LGBT organizations. Consultants and the LGBT organization staff can work together to identify untapped segments of the donor population. By targeting meaningful new constituents, nonprofit consulting firms can broaden the donor base and ultimately increase fundraising. After finding new donor targets, nonprofit consulting firms develop campaigns to reach these constituents. Consultants can work with organizations to advocate for LGBT issues nationally and expand the nonprofit's donor acquisition. The goal is to contact an increasing number of potential donors. Using carefully owned messages, the consultants draw the donors in so they feel connected to the cause and will support it. Online campaigns make it more economical to expand nonprofit reach to a national level. Today, targeting donors across the country using digital media, direct mail, phone, and other fundraising techniques is not as overwhelming as it may have been years ago. Nonprofit consulting firms can help assemble the most effective mix of fundraising strategies and tactics for LGBT organizations. Is going national for every LGBT organization? Unfortunately, smaller LGBT nonprofit organizations may not have the budget to fundraise on a national level. Some small nonprofits also may not be able to enlist the services of nonprofit consulting firms to help identify additional donor segments. Smaller budgets prohibit larger-scale fundraising efforts for many local and regional LGBT organizations. In some cases, national fundraising doesn't make sense, even if budget constraints aren't at issue. An LGBT nonprofit organization's cause may only be focused on an issue affecting the surrounding community, or the services it provides are for local residents. Obviously, connecting with donors nationally just wouldn't make sense from a messaging or financial standpoint. Founded in 2006, IPM Advancement creates fundraising membership and advocacy solutions for nonprofit organizations. The company designs programs, strategies, and campaigns that effectively integrate internet, phone, and mail communication channels. IPM Advancement consults, creates, segments, produces, and manages programs to help clients fulfill their missions. To succeed in the increasingly competitive nonprofit environment, IPM Advancement helps clients leverage every opportunity to reinforce key messages and strengthen their relationship with constituents. The company has produced dependable annual revenue and solid pipelines of future donors for its nonprofit clients.